Hello my friend, welcome back to the Sleepy Professor channel. I'm glad to see you again. Tonight we're going to take a gentle journey through the wonderful world of dogs. I've gathered 100 peaceful facts about our canine companions and we'll explore them together at a slow, calming pace. So get comfortable, let your body sink into your bed, and allow your mind to drift along with these soothing stories about dogs. Let's begin with something simple and comforting. Dogs have been our companions for somewhere between 20,000 and 40,000 years, making them humanity's oldest animal friends. Imagine that, tens of thousands of years of shared history, of sitting by fires together, of keeping each other warm through cold nights. Archaeological evidence shows that ancient humans were buried alongside their dogs, suggesting a bond so deep that it transcended even death. This connection between human and dog is woven into the very fabric of our existence. When you look into a dog's eyes, something remarkable happens. Studies have shown that when dogs and humans gaze at each other, both experience a rise in oxytocin, the same hormone that bonds mothers to their babies. This means that simply looking at your dog activates the same neural pathways associated with love and attachment. It's a chemical conversation, silent and profound, happening in those quiet moments when you and a dog simply exist together. Speaking of eyes, dogs have a third eyelid called a nictitating membrane. You might have glimpsed it when a dog is falling asleep. That thin, pale layer that slides across from the inner corner of the eye. It's there to protect and moisten the eye, a little biological feature that helps keep their vision clear. When you see this membrane appearing as a dog drifts off to sleep, you're witnessing one of nature's gentle protective mechanisms at work. Dogs dream just like we do. When you see a sleeping dog's paws twitching or hear soft little woofs, they're likely chasing rabbits through fields of their imagination, or perhaps replaying the day's adventures. Research using electroencephalograms has shown that dogs experience similar sleep cycles to humans, including REM sleep where dreaming occurs. Small dogs actually dream more frequently than large dogs, though their dreams are shorter. A small dog might have a new dream every 10 minutes, while a large dog might dream for longer periods but less frequently. The average dog sleeps between 12 and 14 hours a day, though puppies and older dogs can sleep up to 18 or 20 hours. Imagine spending most of your existence in that peaceful state between waking and sleeping, drifting through rest without the worries that often keep us humans awake. Dogs have mastered the art of rest in a way we can only aspire to. A dog's sense of smell is extraordinarily powerful, somewhere between 10,000 to 100,000 times more acute than ours, depending on the breed. The part of their brain devoted to analysing smells is proportionally 40 times greater than ours. When a dog sniffs the evening air, they're reading an invisible newspaper of scents, understanding who passed by, what they ate, how they felt. It's an entire world of information we can barely imagine, written in molecules that drift on the breeze. Basenji dogs are known as the barkless dog, though this isn't entirely accurate. They don't bark in the traditional sense, but they yodel, a sound called a baru. It's a melodic, almost musical sound, rising and falling like a gentle song. Imagine a dog that communicates in something closer to singing than barking, their voice carrying through the African plains where they originally lived, a sound that feels ancient and soothing in its strangeness. The Norwegian Lundehund is a remarkable breed with 6 toes on each foot instead of the usual 4. They also have unusual shoulder joints that allow them to extend their front legs straight out to the sides, perpendicular to their body. These special adaptations help them climb the steep rocky cliffs of Norway to hunt puffins. Picture these dogs, moving across vertical surfaces with their extra toes gripping the stone, their bodies contorting in ways other dogs cannot, perfectly designed for their unique purpose. Dogs have been to space. Before humans ventured beyond Earth's atmosphere, dogs led the way. A dog named Laika became the first animal to orbit Earth in 1957, aboard the Soviet spacecraft Sputnik 2. While her story is ultimately sad, her bravery opened the door to human space exploration. Other dogs followed, including Belka and Strelka, who successfully orbited Earth and returned safely, even going on to have puppies afterward. One of Strelka's puppies was given to President Kennedy's daughter Caroline as a gift. The Saluki is considered one of the oldest dog breeds in existence, dating back to ancient Egypt around 7000 BCE. Images of Saluki-like dogs appear on Egyptian tombs running alongside pharaohs and nobles. These elegant, swift dogs were so revered that their bodies were sometimes mummified, just like the pharaohs themselves. For thousands of years, these same graceful forms have been running across deserts, virtually unchanged, a living link to ancient civilizations. A dog's nose print is unique, just like a human fingerprint. The pattern of ridges and creases on a dog's nose is distinctive enough that it could theoretically be used for identification. Some organizations have even started using nose prints to register and identify dogs. It's a small detail, but meaningful. This idea that every dog carries their own unique mark, their own individual signature pressed into the soft tissue of their nose. Puppies are born deaf, blind, and toothless, completely dependent on their mother and their sense of touch and smell. Their eyes open around 2 weeks of age, and their ear canals open a few days later. Imagine entering the world in such darkness and silence, knowing only warmth and milk and the gentle presence of a mother, then gradually awakening to sight and sound, the world revealing itself piece by piece. The bloodhound's sense of smell is so accurate that the results of their tracking can be used as evidence in court. They can follow a scent trail that is over 300 hours old and can track a scent for over 130 miles. When a bloodhound puts their nose to the ground, they're reading history, following the invisible path of someone who passed days ago, their mind completely absorbed in this olfactory journey. Dogs can hear sounds at 4 times the distance that humans can. If you can hear something at 20 feet, a dog can hear it from 80 feet away. They can also hear higher frequencies than we can, up to 65,000 Hz compared to our 20,000 Hz. This means the world is much noisier for dogs, full of sounds we never perceive, high-pitched frequencies that exist just beyond the edge of human hearing. The Lundehund, that 6-toed Norwegian breed, has another remarkable feature. They can close their ear canals at will. This protected them from dirt and moisture when they were hunting in narrow, wet cliffside caves. Imagine having that ability to simply close off sound when the world becomes too loud, to retreat into a quieter space within yourself. Greyhounds can run up to 45 miles per hour, making them the second fastest land animal after the cheetah. But what's particularly interesting is their running style. They use a double suspension gallop, meaning there are 2 points in their stride when all 4 feet are off the ground. They're essentially flying for brief moments, all that speed and grace suspended in air. Despite their incredible speed, greyhounds are often called the 40-mile-per-hour couch potato. They're actually quite lazy dogs who love nothing more than curling up and sleeping after a brief sprint. They're sprinters, not marathon runners, and they're perfectly content to spend most of their day resting. It's a good reminder that being capable of great speed doesn't mean you must always be moving. The Newfoundland breed has a water-resistant coat and webbed feet, making them exceptional swimmers. They were originally bred to help fishermen in Newfoundland, Canada, hauling nets and pulling boats. Their swimming ability is so remarkable that they've been known to save drowning people. There are numerous accounts of Newfoundlands jumping into rough seas to rescue sailors, their massive bodies powering through waves that would overwhelm most dogs. A dog's sense of time is different from ours. Research suggests that dogs can tell the difference between 1 hour and 5 hours, but likely can't distinguish between 2 and 3 hours. They live more in the present moment than we do, not constantly calculating and measuring time, but simply experiencing it as it flows around them. The Afghan hound has hair rather than fur. This might seem like a trivial distinction, but hair grows longer and sheds less than fur. Afghan hounds require significant grooming, but they're often better for people with allergies because they shed less. Their long flowing coat was originally adapted to the cold mountains of Afghanistan, providing insulation in harsh conditions while remaining elegant and beautiful. Dogs have 3 eyelids, as we mentioned earlier, but they also have more rods in their eyes than humans do. Rods are the cells responsible for seeing in low light. This is why dogs can see better in dim conditions than we can. They're adapted for dawn and dusk, those liminal times when light is fading or just beginning, when the world is soft and quiet. The Basenji, that barkless dog from Africa, is also known for being extremely clean, almost cat-like in their grooming habits. They groom themselves regularly and don't have the typical dog odour. In many ways, they seem like a bridge between the dog and cat world. Independent yet loyal, clean yet playful. Dogs can understand up to 250 words and gestures, count up to 5, and perform simple mathematical calculations. The average dog has the intelligence of a 2-year-old child. Border Collies are typically considered the most intelligent breed, capable of learning new commands in under 5 repetitions and obeying them 95% of the time or better. A dog named Chaser, a Border Collie, learned the names of over 1,000 objects and could retrieve any one of them on command. She could also understand sentences with multiple elements of grammar. Chaser didn't just memorize words, she understood concepts like categories and could infer the names of new objects by process of elimination. Her abilities revealed depths of canine cognition that scientists are still working to understand. The Tibetan Mastiff is one of the largest and most ancient breeds, originally used to protect sheep from predators like wolves, leopards, and bears in the Himalayas. These massive dogs can weigh up to 150 pounds or more, and their thick double coat allows them to withstand temperatures as low as -70 degrees Fahrenheit. They're adapted to some of the harshest conditions on Earth, living at altitudes where the air is thin and the wind cuts like a knife. Dogs sweat through the pads of their feet rather than through their skin. When a dog is hot, they primarily cool down by panting, which evaporates moisture from their tongue and the lining of their lungs. But those paw pads also release small amounts of sweat. On a hot day, you might see wet paw prints on the floor, little markers of a dog trying to cool down. The Lundehund breed nearly went extinct in the 1960s. At one point, the entire breed was reduced to just 6 dogs. Through careful breeding programs, the population has been slowly rebuilt, though they remain quite rare. It's a reminder of how fragile breed populations can be, how close we can come to losing these unique genetic lineages forever. Dogs have been selectively bred into more diverse shapes and sizes than any other animal. From the tiny Chihuahua weighing just a few pounds to the massive Irish Wolfhound standing 3 feet tall at the shoulder, the variation within a single species is extraordinary, and yet they're all the same species, all capable of interbreeding, all fundamentally dogs. The African wild dog, though not a domestic dog, share a common ancestor with our canine companions. What's remarkable about African wild dogs is their social structure. They're among the most successful hunters in Africa, with an 80% success rate, largely because of their incredible cooperation. They vote on when to hunt by sneezing, a democratic process where multiple sneezes indicate agreement to begin the hunt. Dalmatians are born completely white. Their distinctive spots begin to appear when they are about 2 weeks old and continue developing throughout their first few months of life. Each Dalmatian's spot pattern is unique, like a fingerprint made of dots. In the past, these dogs ran alongside horse-drawn fire carriages, clearing the way and guarding the horses and equipment, which is why they became associated with firehouses. Dogs have a far wider field of vision than humans, about 250 degrees compared to our 190 degrees, though this varies by breed. Dogs with longer noses have less peripheral vision, while flat-faced breeds can see more to the sides. But they sacrifice some depth perception for this wider view, which is why some dogs have trouble catching balls or judging distances. The Norwegian elk hound is one of the oldest breeds in Europe, with skeletal remains dating back to 5000 BCE, found alongside human remains in Norway. These dogs were bred to hunt moose, which Norwegians call elg, hence the name. They would track the moose through snowy forests, then bark to hold the animal in place until hunters arrived. Imagine the courage required for a 50-pound dog to stand its ground against a 1,000-pound moose. Dogs experience jealousy. Studies have shown that when dogs see their owners displaying affection to other dogs or even dog-like objects, they exhibit behaviors consistent with jealousy, such as pushing between the owner and the rival, trying to attract attention, and showing signs of distress. It's a very human emotion we share with our canine friends, this desire for exclusive affection from those we love. The Xoloitzcuintli, often called the Mexican hairless dog, is one of the world's oldest and rarest breeds, dating back over 3,000 years to the ancient Aztec civilization. The Aztecs believed these dogs had healing properties and could guide souls safely through the afterlife. Even today, Xolos have higher body temperatures than other dogs, and people claim they provide comfort for those with arthritis and other ailments when curled up beside them. A dog's heart beats between 60 and 140 times per minute, depending on the size of the dog. Smaller dogs have faster heart rates, while larger breeds have slower, more measured pulses. When a dog is sleeping peacefully, their heart rate slows even further, their entire body settling into a deep state of rest, muscles relaxing, breath becoming slow and even. The Commodore is a Hungarian breed whose coat naturally forms long corded locks that resemble dreadlocks or mop strings. This unique coat served a practical purpose, protecting the dog from wolf bites and harsh weather while they guarded livestock. A full-grown Commodore can have cords over a foot long, giving them an appearance unlike any other dog. Maintaining this coat requires care, but once the cords form properly, they're relatively self-maintaining. Dogs can smell disease. Their incredible sense of smell allows them to detect cancer, diabetes, and even epileptic seizures before they occur. Some dogs can smell cancer cells at such early stages that modern medical equipment can't yet detect them. These medical detection dogs are being trained to identify COVID-19, Parkinson's disease, and numerous other conditions. They're not replacing doctors, but rather providing a complementary diagnostic tool, their noses opening new possibilities in medicine. The Pharaoh hound, despite its name, is not actually from ancient Egypt but from Malta, where it's called Kelb Talfenek, meaning rabbit dog. These elegant, athletic dogs are known for a unique trait. They blush. When excited or happy, their nose and ears turn rosy pink, a visible display of emotion that's rare among dogs. Dogs have been known to detect earthquakes before they occur. In the minutes or hours before a quake, many dogs display unusual behavior, becoming anxious, barking, or trying to move to safer locations. They likely feel the initial tremors before humans can, or perhaps sense changes in the Earth's magnetic field, or detect gases released from the ground. This sensitivity has been documented for centuries across many cultures. The Bernese Mountain Dog was bred in the Swiss Alps as a farm dog used for pulling carts, driving cattle, and serving as companions. These large, gentle dogs have a calm, patient temperament that made them ideal for working alongside farmers. Their distinctive tri-coloured coat, black with rust and white markings, made them visible in the snowy mountain landscape. A dog's temperature runs warmer than a human's, typically between 101 and 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit. This is why dogs feel so warm when they curl up next to you. Why their presence is so comforting on a cold night. They're like living hot water bottles, radiating warmth and comfort. The Azawak is a West African sighthound, tall and lean, bred by nomadic tribes in the Sahel region. These elegant dogs can chase gazelles in the desert heat, their slender bodies designed for speed and endurance in harsh conditions. They're intensely loyal to their families but often aloof with strangers, retaining much of their ancient independent character. Dogs have been shown to understand object permanence, the concept that objects continue to exist even when they can't be seen. This is a cognitive milestone that human children typically reach around 8 to 12 months old. When you hide a treat under a cup, your dog knows it's still there, can picture it in their mind, can understand that hidden doesn't mean gone. The Leonberger is a giant German breed created in the 1800s to resemble the lion on the town crest of Leonberg, Germany. These massive, gentle dogs can weigh up to 170 pounds, but are known for their calm, friendly temperament. They were nearly extinct after both world wars, with only 8 dogs surviving World War II. Every Leonberger today descends from those 8 survivors. Dogs can recognize human emotions through facial expressions. Studies show that dogs can distinguish between happy and angry human faces, even in photographs of people they've never met. They process faces in a similar way to humans, using the left side of their brain to interpret facial expressions. When you smile at a dog, they understand at some level what that expression means. The Catahoula leopard dog, Louisiana's state dog, often has striking blue glass eyes, sometimes with one eye blue and one brown. This breed was developed to hunt wild boar in the Louisiana swamps, and they're known for being tough, intelligent, and independent. Their distinctive mottled coat gives them their leopard name, patterns of spots and patches that make each dog unique. Dogs have a special membrane in their eyes called the tapetum lucidum, which reflects light back through the retina, improving their night vision. This is what makes dogs' eyes appear to glow in the dark when light hits them. That eerie, reflective shine is actually a sophisticated adaptation for seeing in low light, allowing dogs to navigate when we would be nearly blind. The Chinook is a rare American breed, developed in New Hampshire in the early 1900s for sledding. At one point, only 11 breeding Chinooks remained in the world. Though still rare, dedicated breeders have increased their numbers. These dogs combine strength for pulling sleds with the gentle, friendly temperament, equally at home working in harness or relaxing with family. Research has shown that petting a dog can lower blood pressure in both the human and the dog. The act of gentle touch, the rhythmic stroking of soft fur, creates a feedback loop of calm. Heart rate slow, stress hormones decrease, and a sense of peace settles over both species. It's mutual relaxation, a shared moment of tranquility. The Portuguese water dog has webbed toes and a waterproof coat, bred to help fishermen by herding fish into nets, retrieving lost tackle, and acting as couriers between ships and shore. These intelligent, energetic dogs would spend their entire working day in and around water, completely at home in the waves. President Obama's family had 2 Portuguese water dogs during his presidency, bringing attention to this historic breed. Dogs can suffer from seasonal affective disorder, becoming depressed during shorter, darker days just like humans can. If a dog seems less energetic or more withdrawn in winter, they might be experiencing this seasonal change in mood. More indoor playtime, light therapy, and maintaining routines can help dogs through these darker months. The Slugi is a North African sighthound, similar in appearance to the Saluki, but developed independently in Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya. These elegant, swift dogs were bred by Berber people for hunting and companionship. They're known for their noble bearing and deep loyalty to their families, traits that have been refined over centuries in the mountains and deserts of North Africa. A dog's cognitive abilities decline as they age, similar to humans. Senior dogs can develop canine cognitive dysfunction, essentially dog dementia, leading to confusion, anxiety, and changes in sleep patterns, but also like humans, keeping dogs mentally stimulated, maintaining exercise routines, and providing a stable environment can help slow this decline. The Finnish Spitz is that country's national dog, used for hunting game birds. These dogs have an unusual hunting method. They track birds, then bark continuously at the tree where the bird has landed, effectively pointing with sound. The rhythm and volume of their bark mesmerizes the bird, keeping it in place until the hunter arrives. They can bark up to 160 times per minute, an exhausting vocal performance. Dogs have been found to mirror their owner's stress levels. When an owner is anxious or stressed, their dog's cortisol levels rise correspondingly. This deep, empathetic connection means that your emotional state directly affects your dog. When you work on finding calm for yourself, you're also giving that gift of peace to your canine companion. The Caucasian Shepherd dog, also called the Caucasian Ovcharka, is a massive livestock guardian. Bred from the Caucasus Mountains, these dogs can weigh over 200 pounds and were bred to protect flocks from wolves and bears. They're incredibly protective and fearless, willing to take on predators many times their size to defend their charges. Dogs process language in a similar way to humans, using the left hemisphere of their brain for words and the right hemisphere for intonation. Studies using MRI scans have shown that dogs understand both what we say and how we say it, integrating these two streams of information to understand our full meaning. A happy, good dog activates the brain's reward center more than the words alone or the tone alone. The Otterhound is a rare British breed, with fewer than 1,000 existing worldwide. They were bred to hunt otters in medieval England, working in packs to track these aquatic mammals. When otter hunting was banned, the breed nearly disappeared. These shaggy, webbed-footed dogs have a remarkable nose that can track scents through water. Rare ability among dogs, puppies spend about 90% of their first few weeks sleeping. Sleep is when their bodies grow and their brains process the overwhelming amount of new information they're encountering. Each nap is building neural connections, strengthening muscles, preparing them for the active life ahead. It's a reminder that rest isn't wasted time, but rather essential for growth and development. The Thai Ridgeback has a distinctive ridge of hair along its back that grows in the opposite direction from the rest of its coat. This breed was isolated in Thailand for centuries, developing independently with minimal outside genetic influence. They're athletic, intelligent, and retain a primitive, independent character that speaks to their ancient heritage. Dogs can fall in love, at least in a neurochemical sense. When dogs interact with humans or other dogs they're bonded to, their brains release oxytocin, the same hormone associated with human love and bonding. These aren't just trained responses or simple conditioning. The chemistry of attachment and affection is genuinely present. The canine dog is Israel's national breed, descended from wild dogs that lived in the region for thousands of years. These medium-sized dogs are incredibly adaptable, having survived and thrived in harsh desert conditions. Some still live semi-wild in parts of the Middle East, a living link to the dogs that existed before formal breeding programs shaped so many modern breeds. When dogs kick backward after eliminating, they're not trying to cover their waist like cats. They're actually activating scent glands in their paws, marking their territory with their unique scent. It's a signature, a message to other dogs that says I was here, left in chemical traces on the ground. The Bergamasco Shepherd has a coat that naturally forms flat, dense mats called flocks. These provide insulation and protection from weather and predators. The coat requires specific management early in life, but once the flocks form properly, they're low maintenance and last the dog's lifetime. It's like they're wearing armor made of felt, ancient and practical. Dogs have been shown to understand fairness in experiments where one dog performs a task and receives a reward, while another does the same task and receives nothing. The unrewarded dog will eventually refuse to perform, showing signs of recognizing the inequity. They understand when they're being treated unfairly compared to others, a sophisticated social cognition. The Stabyhound is a rare Dutch breed, with only about 3,500 existing worldwide. These versatile gun dogs can hunt, retrieve, and work as watchdogs, equally comfortable in water or on land. Despite their rarity, Stabyhounds are known for being excellent family dogs, patient and gentle with children, while remaining capable, working dogs. Research suggests that dogs were domesticated at least twice, once in Asia and once in Europe, with the Asian dogs later migrating to Europe and mixing with the European population. This dual origin helps explain the genetic diversity we see in modern dogs, two separate streams of domestication flowing together over thousands of years. The Peruvian Inca Orchid is a hairless breed from Peru, coming in 3 sizes: small, medium and large. Like other hairless breeds, they have warm skin that was prized by ancient peoples for its comforting warmth. Some believe these dogs served as living hot water bottles for people suffering from arthritis and other ailments, their warmth providing pain relief. Dogs can recognize themselves in mirrors to some extent, though not in the same way humans do. They're more scent-oriented, so their sense of self is more connected to their smell than their appearance. However, studies show they can use mirrors to locate objects and understand that the reflection shows the real world from a different angle. The Keukenhondje is a small Dutch breed with a charming history. They were used to lure ducks into traps using their plumed, wagging tails. Hunters would hide in canal-side shelters while the dog played at the water's edge, their cheerful movement attracting curious ducks closer. It's a gentle form of hunting, based on the dog's natural playfulness rather than aggression. A dog's whiskers are highly sensitive tactile hairs called vibrissae. They're not just decorative, they're sensory organs that help dogs navigate in the dark, detect nearby objects, and even sense changes in air currents. Cutting a dog's whiskers would be like reducing one of their senses, removing information they use to understand their immediate environment. The Schipperke is a small Belgian breed whose name means little captain in Flemish. These dogs worked on canal barges, guarding cargo and catching rats. Despite their small size, usually under 15 pounds, they have bold, independent personalities and were trusted to protect valuable goods on the water routes of medieval Belgium. Dogs have more than 300 million olfactory receptors in their noses, compared to about 6 million in humans. The part of their brain devoted to analysing smells is 40 times greater than ours, proportionally speaking. This means when a dog sniffs something, they're not just smelling it more strongly, they're analysing it more deeply, extracting information that's completely inaccessible to us. The Swedish Vallhund is an ancient breed that may have been brought to Wales by Vikings, potentially influencing the development of the corgi. These small, sturdy dogs were used for herding cattle, nipping at their heels to move them along. They're energetic and confident, much larger in spirit than their compact bodies would suggest. When dogs circle before lying down, they're exhibiting a behaviour inherited from their wild ancestors. In the wild, dogs and wolves circle to pat down grass or snow, creating a more comfortable resting spot and checking for threats like snakes or insects. Even though your dog's bed is already comfortable, this ancient instinct persists, a ritual of preparation before rest. The Moody is a rare Hungarian herding breed, with only a few thousand existing worldwide. These medium-sized dogs are incredibly versatile, used for herding, hunting, and even as search and rescue dogs. Their wavy or curly coat comes in several colours, and they're known for being intelligent problem solvers, working independently to manage livestock. Dogs experience time in the present moment more than humans do. While they have some concept of past and future, they're not dwelling on yesterday's mistakes or worrying about tomorrow's challenges. They exist much more fully in the now, a quality many meditation practices try to teach humans to achieve. The Ciernico dell'Etna is an ancient breed from Sicily, adapted to hunt rabbits on the rocky volcanic terrain around Mount Etna. These slender, elegant dogs can work for hours in heat that would exhaust most breeds, their large, upright ears helping to dissipate heat. They're a living piece of Sicilian history, virtually unchanged for thousands of years. When a dog tilts their head while listening to you, they're likely trying to better locate the source of sound or to see your face more clearly. Their muzzle can block part of their vision, so tilting helps them see your expressions while they listen. It's not just adorable, it's practical, a way of gathering more information about what you're communicating. The Korean Jindo is that country's national treasure, protected by law to prevent export. These medium-sized dogs are legendary for their loyalty and homing instinct. Stories tell of Jindos sold or given away finding their way back home across hundreds of miles, navigating unfamiliar terrain to return to their families. Dogs have been found buried in human graves dating back 12,000 years, their bodies carefully placed and sometimes adorned with jewellery or valuable objects. This suggests that even our ancient ancestors saw dogs as more than tools or property. They were companions, valued enough to be buried with ceremony and honour. The Pumi is another Hungarian herding breed, smaller and more terrier-like than the Moody, with a distinctive curly coat and semi-erect ears that curl at the tips. These energetic dogs are known for their constant motion, always alert, always ready. They're relatively rare outside Hungary, but prized for their working ability and spirited personality. When dogs sleep curled in a tight ball with their nose near their tail, they're conserving heat and protecting their vulnerable organs. When they sleep sprawled out on their side or back, they're cooling down and showing that they feel completely safe. The way a dog sleeps tells you something about how they're feeling, both physically and emotionally. The Kai Ken is a rare Japanese breed, a natural monument in Japan, traditionally used to hunt game in the mountainous regions. Their distinctive brindle coat helped them blend into the forested mountain terrain. These dogs are known for being reserved with strangers but deeply loyal to their families, a characteristic shared by many Japanese breeds. Dogs can detect changes in barometric pressure, which is why many become anxious before storms arrive. They sense the change before we see dark clouds or hear thunder. This sensitivity can make storms especially frightening for some dogs, as they experience the building tension long before the storm actually hits. The Puli is a Hungarian breed famous for its long, corded coat that resembles dreadlocks. When fully developed, the cords can reach the ground, giving the dog an almost mythical appearance. This coat developed naturally to protect the dog from harsh weather and predator attacks while herding. Pulik, the plural of Puli, are agile and athletic despite their heavy coats, capable of impressive feats of jumping and climbing. When dogs sigh, it often indicates contentment and relaxation, especially if their eyes are half closed at the time. It's a release of tension, a settling into comfort. Sometimes a sigh can indicate mild disappointment, like when playtime ends, but most often it's a peaceful sound, an expression of satisfaction with the present moment. The Norrbottenspets is a small Swedish hunting dog, bred for tracking game like squirrels and martens. These compact Spitz-type dogs nearly went extinct in the mid-1900s, but have been carefully preserved by dedicated breeders. They're energetic and fearless despite their small size, bred for harsh Scandinavian conditions. Dogs have been shown to mourn the loss of companion animals. When a dog in a household dies, surviving dogs often show signs of grief, changes in sleeping and eating patterns, increased vocalization, and seeking attention from humans. This grief can last for months, showing that dogs form genuine emotional bonds with their companions. The Lagotto Romagnolo is an Italian breed originally used to hunt waterfowl, but now primarily used for truffle hunting. Their extraordinary nose and love of digging make them perfect for finding these underground delicacies. They're one of the oldest water retriever breeds, with a dense curly coat that protects them from cold water and thorny undergrowth. A dog's normal resting respiratory rate is about 10 to 30 breaths per minute. When sleeping deeply, this can slow even further, their chest rising and falling in a slow, peaceful rhythm. Watching a sleeping dog breathe is itself a calming meditation, a reminder of the fundamental simplicity of life. Breath in, breath out, moment by moment. The Plott Hound is North Carolina's state dog, originally bred by German immigrant Johannes Plott in the 1700s to hunt wild boar and bears. This breed is one of the few hounds developed in America, and they're known for being fearless trackers, capable of pursuing dangerous game through rugged mountain terrain. Dogs can learn by observation, watching other dogs or even humans and then imitating their actions. This social learning ability is more developed in dogs than in most other species, likely enhanced through thousands of years of living alongside humans. They've become experts at reading us, learning from us, adapting their behavior based on what they see. The Eurasier is a relatively new breed, developed in Germany in the 1960s by breeding Chow Chows, Wolfspitz, and Samoyeds. The goal was to create a family dog with the best qualities of these breeds: calm, loyal, and adaptable. Eurasiers are known for forming deep bonds with their families while remaining reserved with strangers. When dogs wag their tails to the right, it generally indicates positive emotions, while wagging more to the left can indicate negative emotions. This is because the left hemisphere of the brain, which processes positive emotions, controls the right side of the body and vice versa. It's a subtle detail most people never notice, but the direction of that wag carries meaning. The Drencher Patrichshond is a Dutch breed, used for hunting partridge, hence the name. These versatile gun dogs point, retrieve, and work in water. Despite being an excellent working breed, they're relatively rare even in their native Netherlands, overshadowed by more popular hunting breeds. Dogs have a unique relationship with music. Studies show that dogs respond to music similarly to humans, with certain types having calming effects. Classical music tends to calm anxious dogs, while heavy metal can increase stress. Reggae and soft rock also have positive effects. Some shelters play music specifically chosen to keep their dogs calm and relaxed. The Estrela Mountain Dog is Portugal's oldest native breed, used for centuries to guard livestock in the Estrela Mountains. These large, powerful dogs have thick double coats to withstand harsh mountain weather. They're known for being gentle with their families while remaining vigilant guardians, a combination of softness and strength. When dogs yawn, it's not always because they're tired. Dogs also yawn when they're stressed or anxious, as a calming signal to themselves and others. If you yawn near your dog and they yawn back, it's not just contagious behavior, it's also a sign of empathy and social bonding, your dog synchronizing with your emotional state. The Hoverwart is a German working dog whose name means estate guard in Middle High German. These dogs were nearly extinct by the early 1900s, but were reconstructed using farm dogs thought to carry Hoverwart genetics. They're versatile working dogs, used for search and rescue, tracking, and as family companions, known for their loyalty and protective instincts. Dogs can distinguish between different quantities. In experiments, when shown two groups of treats, dogs consistently choose the larger amount, showing they understand more versus less. This basic mathematical ability helps them make decisions about resource allocation, like choosing which path might lead to better rewards. The Entlebucher Mountain Dog is the smallest of the 4 Swiss Mountain Dog breeds, standing about 16 to 21 inches at the shoulder. Despite their size, they're strong, agile herding dogs, used to move cattle in the mountainous regions of Switzerland. Their tricolour coat follows the same pattern as their larger cousins, the Bernese Mountain Dog and Greater Swiss Mountain Dog. A dog's average body temperature is about 101 to 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit, several degrees warmer than humans. This warmth is part of what makes them such comforting companions. When a dog presses against you, you're not just feeling emotional comfort, but literal physical warmth, their higher body temperature radiating through to you. The Dutch Shepherd is a versatile herding breed that nearly disappeared when modern farming reduced the need for herding dogs. Unlike the more common German Shepherd, Dutch Shepherds come in several coat types: short-haired, long-haired, and wire-haired, with the wire-haired variety being particularly rare. They're athletic, intelligent dogs still used for police and military work. Dogs have been found to synchronize their behavior with their owners. When you walk together, You often unconsciously match your pace to your dog's, and they do the same with you. This behavioural synchrony extends to sleep patterns, activity levels, and even emotional states, creating a subtle harmony between human and dog. The Majorcan shepherd dog, also called Care de Bestia, is a rare Spanish breed from Majorca. These large black dogs were used to guard and herd livestock, working independently in the island's rugged terrain. They're naturally suspicious of strangers but deeply devoted to their families, retaining much of their ancient working character. When dogs dream, their brains show similar patterns to human dreaming brains. They experience rapid eye movement sleep, their eyes moving behind closed lids as they dream. Research suggests dogs probably dream about their daily experiences, reliving walks, play sessions, and interactions with their favourite people. The Charpleninak is a livestock guardian from the mountainous regions of Macedonia and Kosovo. These powerful dogs protect flocks from wolves and bears in harsh mountain conditions. They're independent and courageous, bred to make decisions on their own when guarding sheep far from human oversight. Their thick coat protects them from both weather and predators. Dogs can recognize human emotions through our scent. When we experience fear or anxiety, we release different chemicals in our sweat, and dogs can detect these changes. This is one reason why dogs often approach anxious people with gentle concern. They're literally smelling the emotional shift and responding to it. The Teddy Roosevelt Terrier is an American breed named after President Theodore Roosevelt, who was known to love these small, versatile terriers. They're compact but athletic, originally used as farm dogs to hunt vermin and small game. Despite being named after a famous president, they remain relatively rare and unrecognized by some major kennel clubs. A dog's whiskers can detect tiny changes in air currents, helping them navigate in complete darkness. When air flows around objects, it creates subtle patterns, and a dog's whiskers pick up these changes, essentially allowing them to see through touch. It's like having a built-in proximity sensor feeling the world through vibrations in the air. The Grand Basset Griffon Vendéen is a French scent hound with a wonderfully descriptive name that tells you almost everything about them. They're large, grand, low to the ground, Basset, rough-coated, Griffon, and from the Vendée region of France. These cheerful, vocal dogs were bred to hunt hare and other game, following scent trails for hours with tireless enthusiasm. Dogs have been shown to understand pointing gestures better than most animals, even better than our closest relatives, chimpanzees. When you point at something, your dog instinctively looks where you're pointing, understanding that your gesture is meant to direct their attention. This ability likely developed through thousands of years of working closely with humans. The Tornjak is a livestock guardian from Bosnia and Herzegovina and Croatia, with a history stretching back over 1,000 years. These large, powerful dogs have thick coats with distinctive markings, often white with coloured patches. They're calm and dignified, bonding strongly with their families while remaining protective and alert. When dogs eat grass, they're not necessarily sick. Sometimes they simply enjoy the taste and texture, or they might be seeking nutrients or fibre. Occasional grass eating is normal behaviour. Wild canids also eat grass and plant material, suggesting this is a natural part of their dietary habits, not just a domesticated quirk. The American English Coonhound is a hunting breed developed in the American South for tracking and treeing raccoons. These athletic, vocal dogs can follow a scent trail for hours, their baying calls echoing through forests as they track their quarry. They have incredible stamina, capable of hunting all night in various weather conditions. Dogs can learn words at the same rate as human toddlers. When introduced to new words consistently and repeatedly, dogs can acquire vocabulary surprisingly quickly. Some dogs learn new words after only a few exposures, while others need more repetition, much like human children varying in their language acquisition abilities. The Caucasian ovcharka, which we mentioned earlier, has another interesting trait. They mature very slowly, not reaching full physical and mental maturity until about 3 years old. This extended puppyhood allows them to develop the judgment and temperament needed for their demanding role as livestock guardians in one of the world's most challenging environments. A dog's sense of taste is much less refined than ours. While humans have about 9,000 taste buds, dogs have only about 700. They experience 5 basic tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami, but they're particularly responsive to meaty, savoury flavours. This is why dogs are less picky about food texture and subtlety than humans are. The Ibizan hound is an ancient breed from the Mediterranean, possibly descended from dogs depicted in ancient Egyptian art. These elegant deer-like dogs hunt by sight and sound, capable of incredible leaps to catch fleeing prey. They're known for their large, upright ears and graceful athletic build, looking almost like statues when they stand alert. Dogs can detect human pregnancy through scent changes. Pregnant women experience hormonal shifts that alter their smell, and dogs pick up on these changes, sometimes even before the woman knows she's pregnant. Some dogs become more protective or attentive to pregnant family members, responding to the subtle chemical signals of new life. The Central Asian Shepherd dog, also called the Alabai, is one of the world's oldest breeds, with a history spanning thousands of years across the steppes of Central Asia. These massive guardian dogs protected livestock from wolves, bears, and even tigers. They're independent and territorial, bred to make life or death decisions without human guidance. When dogs make eye contact with us, it's a learned behaviour. Wild canids typically find direct eye contact threatening, but domestic dogs have evolved to use eye contact as a form of communication with humans. That gaze, that connection between human and dog eyes, is something special, developed over millennia of partnership. The Grand Griffon Vendéen is related to the Grand Basset Griffon Vendéen but taller, with longer legs for covering rough terrain. These shaggy French hounds were bred for hunting wild boar and deer. Their rough coat protects them from thorny undergrowth, and their determination allows them to track game for hours through difficult country. Dogs have a special muscle that allows them to raise their inner eyebrow, creating that pleading puppy dog expression that humans find irresistible. Research suggests this muscle evolved specifically through domestication, because dogs with more expressive faces were more successful at communicating with humans and thus more likely to be cared for and bred. The Karelian bear dog is a Finnish breed used for hunting large game, including bears and moose. These fearless dogs are smaller than the animals they hunt, but they use agility, intelligence, and sheer courage to hold dangerous game at bay. In some parts of North America, they used to teach bears to avoid human-populated areas, effectively training bears through non-lethal confrontation. When dogs age, they often develop a white or grey muzzle, just like humans grey at the temples. Some dogs grey, early due to genetics or stress, while others maintain their colour well into old age. This greying is a visible marker of time passing, of years of companionship and shared experiences. The Bracco Italiano is an ancient Italian pointing breed, possibly dating back to the 4th or 5th century BCE. These large, powerful gun dogs have distinctive pendulous ears and loose skin, giving them a somewhat hound-like appearance. They're gentle and affectionate family companions while maintaining their working drive in the field. Dogs can develop strong preferences for certain people, often bonding most closely with whoever feeds them, plays with them most, or matches their energy level best. This preference isn't fickle or shallow, but based on genuine connection and positive association, dogs choosing their favourite people for meaningful reasons. The Perro de Presa Canario is a large Spanish breed from the Canary Islands, originally used for working cattle and as guard dogs. These powerful, confident dogs require experienced handling, but are loyal and protective of their families. Their history includes both working alongside farmers and serving as guardians of homes and property. A dog's tail is an extension of their spine, containing anywhere from 6 to 23 vertebrae depending on the breed and tail length. It's crucial for balance when running and turning at high speeds. Dogs use their tails for communication, but the tail itself is a complex sensitive body part, not just a signalling device. The small Münsterländer is a German gun dog, despite its name being quite versatile in size, standing 19 to 22 inches tall. These brown and white dogs are excellent pointers and retrievers, equally comfortable on land or in water. They're less common than their relative, the large Münsterländer, but prized by hunters for their versatility and trainability. Dogs can sense the passage of time through various cues, the position of the sun, the routine activities of their household, even the gradual fading of their owner's scent throughout the day. This is why dogs often know when you're about to come home. They've learned the patterns that precede your arrival. The Transylvanian Hound is a rare Hungarian breed that nearly went extinct in the 20th century. These scent hounds were used by Hungarian nobility for hunting in the Carpathian Mountains. They come in two sizes, with the larger variety used for hunting big game like bear and boar, and the smaller for fox and hare. When dogs shake after getting wet, they can shake off about 70% of the water in their fur in just 4 seconds. This rapid rotation, starting from their head and moving down their body, creates centrifugal force that flings water away. It's an incredibly efficient drying method, perfected over thousands of years of evolution. The Wetterhound is a rare Dutch breed whose name means water dog. These sturdy, curly-coated dogs were used for hunting otters and waterfowl in Friesland. They're known for being stubborn and independent but loyal to their families. With only a few thousand in existence, they remain primarily in their native Netherlands. Dogs can recognize individual humans by sight, but they rely more heavily on scent and sound. Even if you change your appearance dramatically, your dog will know you by your smell and the sound of your voice, by the fundamental essence of who you are that goes beyond surface appearance. The Poodle Pointer is a German versatile hunting dog, a cross between the poodle and the pointer, combining the poodle's intelligence and water work with the pointer's field ability. These dogs are less common than many other hunting breeds, but are valued by those who know them for their balanced temperament and excellent nose. A dog's love for their human releases the same neurological rewards in the dog's brain as we experience when we love someone. The attachment is neurologically real, chemically measurable, not just projected human emotion onto an animal. When a dog loves you, it's not anthropomorphism to call it love, it's accurate. The Segugio Italiano comes in 2 varieties, wire-haired and short-haired, and is one of Italy's ancient scent hounds. These elegant dogs have been hunting in Italy for centuries, their stamina and nose allowing them to track game over long distances through varied terrain. They're less common outside Italy but remain popular in their homeland for hunting. As dogs enter their senior years, they sleep even more than they did as adults, sometimes up to 18 or 20 hours a day. This increased sleep is natural, their bodies needing more rest to recover from daily activities. Watching an old dog sleep, you're seeing a life well lived, a body that's earned its rest. The Griffon Fauve de Bretagne is a French scent hound with a distinctive wheaten or fawn-coloured rough coat. These medium-sized dogs are known for their cheerful disposition and excellent nose. They were traditionally used for hunting wolves and wild boar, though today they're more commonly used for smaller game or kept as companions. Dogs have been found to reduce loneliness and depression in their owners. The simple presence of a dog, the routine they provide, the physical touch, and the unconditional acceptance all contribute to improved mental health. For many people, their dog is a lifeline, a reason to get up in the morning, a source of comfort in difficult times. The Bohemian Shepherd is a Czech breed that nearly disappeared but has been carefully preserved. These medium-sized herding dogs are versatile and intelligent, used for herding, guarding, and as family companions. They're similar in appearance to German Shepherds, but typically smaller and with a calmer temperament. When a dog sleeps pressed against you, they're doing more than just seeking warmth or comfort. They're also engaging in a behavior called pack sleeping, an instinctual desire to sleep in contact with their family. In the wild, this contact provides warmth, safety, and social bonding. Your dog choosing to sleep touching you is a profound expression of trust and belonging. The East Siberian Laika is a Russian hunting breed adapted to the harsh climate of Siberia. These Spitz-type dogs can hunt everything from squirrels to bears, working in temperatures that would kill most breeds. They're versatile, hardy, and independent, retaining much of their primitive character despite centuries of selective breeding. And finally, our 100th fact. Dogs live in the moment in a way humans struggle to achieve. They don't worry about tomorrow or regret yesterday. When they're with you, they're fully present, experiencing that moment completely. It's a gift they offer us, this reminder to be here, now, to let go of the endless mental chatter and simply exist together in peace. As we come to the end of our journey through these 100 peaceful facts about dogs, I hope you found some comfort in these stories, some gentle thoughts to carry you into sleep. Dogs have been our companions for so long, sharing our homes, our lives, our quiet moments. They've taught us about loyalty, about living in the present, about finding joy in simple things. Let your mind rest now with these images of puppies sleeping in piles, of ancient breeds running across timeless landscapes, of the gentle rhythm of a dog's breathing as they sleep. Let yourself drift like a dog settling into their favourite spot, circling once, twice, then sinking into deep, peaceful rest. Thank you for spending this time with me tonight, my friend. I hope these stories about our canine companions have brought you some peace. Sleep well, rest deeply, and I'll see you in the next video. Good night.